Thank you! I received your present today, Haruki-kun. Thank you for the really wonderful pair of earrings. I'll treasure them. Even though I didn't give you a present in exchange for the one you gave me for Christmas, you still sent another one. I'm so sorry for always being on the receiving end, even though it was all my fault, and even though I did such a terrible thing to you back then. Even so, the moment I realized that you still care about me, I was so happy that tears rolled down my cheeks. I'm sorry. The fact that I'm making complaints in a text that was meant to express my gratitude makes me uncomfortable, doesn't it, Haruki-kun? Don't worry about the party. It was my mom's idea in the first place, and you and Takia came over anyway. Rather, I feel bad that even though you're busy working, we're having fun here. I challenged myself to make a cake this year, and roast beef too. Since it's my first try, I'm not sure if it'll go well. Please, do your best at work too, Haruki-kun. Don't push yourself too hard and risk your health, okay? It's still cold after all. Well then, good night.
Even though it was all my fault, she says. Even though I did such terrible things to you, she says. You're wrong, Setsuna. I'm the one at fault, and I'm the one who's done so many terrible things to you. That's the reason why I've decided to give you that present. I'm just the same as you. No, I'm far worse.
I've taken a shower before you.
As I remain on the bed with my arms around my knees, and with my mobile phone still open, I wonder what kind of expression Koharu's making as she's looking at me. I'm not able to tell with only the faint light spilling from the bathroom door. What?
I made another wound on you again.
In the darkness, Koharu's fingers gently caress my back, using the same fingers that had dug into the same spot with her sharp nails up until just a short moment ago.
I'm sorry. I've done it again today.
It's fine. It's not a deep wound anyway.
Did I end up stinging it instead? I'm sorry,
Don't worry. It doesn't hurt. It just feels ticklish. She probably means to disinfect it. This time, she covers the wound with her lips and slowly licks it with the tip of her tongue. Well, if she's trying to disinfect it, the human mouth is probably the worst thing to use. So much bacteria in it. Now he's going to get infected. It's fine. You can continue. Thank you, Koharu.
Okay.
Using the same mouth, which left teeth marks on my shoulders up until a short moment ago.
I can taste your blood, senpai.
Like I said, I'm fine. Your nails aren't long anyway.
It's not because I was in pain. It's just, I've never felt that way up until recently. My neck was quivering and my back was trembling, so I just unconsciously...
I see. Does that mean...
I wonder what's happening to me. I'm just a bit scared.
That's not something you should worry about, I think. On the contrary, as a man, this is something to be happy about. Probably.
Hey, senpai, next time we do it, could you tie up my hands?
Geez, we're getting into kinky territory here. Don't be silly. I can't do something so horrible, because that's not my fetish. But it's scarier that she said that, unaware of its meaning.
But what if you get some tetanus from some bad bacteria from my nails? Oh,
You're licking the wounds? That is far worse than anything under your nails. And tetanus doesn't come from those kinds of nails, they come from steel nails. And tetanus is a bacteria that doesn't survive very long in oxygen. The reason you can get it from metal is because often the metal is in a low oxygen environment. Like nails are in the wall, and only if they've been recently freed are they a problem, or like closed scissors, the blades are not exposed to that much oxygen, that sort of thing. So probably don't need to worry about tetanus from fingernails. Other bacteria, especially those that live in the mouth, yes. Tetanus, probably not. You don't need to worry that much. It won't happen if you wash your hands properly before that, as well as my body, which you're about to touch.
does that mean starting from now, every time before we do it, we should take a bath together?
It'll be the same if we take a bath separately.
And it will be the same if we do it together, right?
Let's sleep. We have the morning shift tomorrow. And the logistics of sharing a bath, unless you've got a huge bath, rarely turns out well. Well, I guess Koharu is rather small, so maybe they can make it work. But still, logistics of bathing together doesn't usually work out well.
Yeah, good night.
Koharu said that she might have become a fool last night, and those words somehow possess a sense of reality to them. However, the basis of her thought process was so naive and pitiful, I could only lightly chide her for saying it. And that, I felt a slight sense of frustration at my lack of vocabulary. Yeah, it was rather frustrating. Her response was supposed to be that of delight or love, and yet I wasn't sensitive enough to give her a serious reply.
Are you asleep already?
There's no way I am. Not even 10 seconds have passed.
I'm sorry. Hey, senpai,
What?
that text you got earlier, it was from Ogaso-senpai, right?
I'm truly frustrated. I'm frustrated about how I'm so cowardly that I'm not able to say anything right now.
So, she already received the present? Was Ogaso-senpai happy with it?
I'm frustrated about how I'm so weak that I can't even answer a question she just asked me.
You shouldn't worry too much about me. There's no point in hiding Ogaso-senpai from me, right?
I'm frustrated about how I'm so pathetic that I've been forgiven by Koharu before I could even say anything.
I chose the present with you, right? Then why are you hesitating at a time like this?
About my terrible self, who is unable to move forward or backward, and in the end is only pushed forward by Koharu.
Moreover, I wished for this to happen despite knowing how you feel about Ogaso-senpai, you know?
Although that was Koharu's wish, according to her own words. I haven't been given any reason to believe them. I don't understand anything, be it Koharu's true feelings or what she truly wishes for me.
If you want to be bothered about something, think about Ogaso-senpai. Think about her because you can't meet up with her for a while due to my selfish desires.
Just go to sleep. You're saying too many weird things right now, Koharu. Therefore, on top of my terrible actions, I paint another awful layer over it.
It really is weird, isn't it? I must have said a lot of terrible things.
It was weird, but not terrible. That's enough for now. I can't even reassure that person who is in the same bed as me. I can't stop her from being hurt by her own words.
You're just repaying your debt to me, senpai?
You're wrong.
I've tried my best to become an escape for you, but it didn't seem to work, and as it backfired, you pitied me, and this time you've become a place where I could retreat to.
I said you're wrong.
That's why, even if it's just for this moment, it's fine.
Koharu.
When I become strong enough, and when everything has settled down, you can go back to Ogaso-senpai.
Koharu! Hearing her sobbing behind my back, I turn around and hold her to my chest. As a spineless coward, this is the only comfort I can give her. It's fine. Just don't think about anything and try to sleep.
Then keep embracing me like this. Don't turn your back on me.
Sorry. Until the night is over, I'll watch over your face constantly, Koharu.
And please give me an arm pillow so that I won't cry again tonight.
Got it. Good night.
Good night.
Koharu's head rests on my left arm, while my right hand caresses her damp hair, which she had just washed. I continue to attentively gaze at her adorable face in the darkness, until the tears from her eyes disappear, and her breathing becomes regular as she falls asleep. No, until the night is over, as I promised. Are you alright? I'm fine, sorry. I'll remake it. I cleaned up the scattered ingredients and threw away whatever was left in the garbage bin while I was at it. After washing the frying pan, I dry it by heating it up and pour a light splash of oil into it again. Then I take a new pack from the refrigerator, cut it open, and throw its contents into the pan. Today, I'm spending another monotonous day in the kitchen of goodies. Isn't it tough doing everything with your right hand? Leaving aside the fact that I can't use my left hand, I must really lack muscular strength if I can't use my arm after something like that. I might even lose in an arm wrestling match with Koharu at this rate. You can take a break if you want. We can hold out somehow with the way things are now. No, I can't do that. When you've become only as useful as everyone else, it doesn't hurt if you just rest a while, Kitaharu-san. Though, I must say, it's quite disheartening to see you only as effective as everyone else. Sorry, give me just 10 minutes? Is it just simple muscle pain? Or has my blood circulation not returned to normal? A lot of things on my mind right now, some of which I regret. Particularly my decision to act tough and actually provide her with my arm as a pillow up until morning. But I had no choice but to do it back then. More importantly, I wanted to do it back then. I close my eyes slowly as I recall the fact that I never managed to shut them throughout the previous night. How much time passed until Koharu finally managed to fall asleep soundly and peacefully after shutting her eyes with her head on my arm? I really couldn't tell while I was still in that eternal darkness. I wasn't sure if the quiet sounds coming from her were her sleep talking, her heaving sobs, or just sniffling. I watched Koharu the whole time until morning, as I promised I would, alerted by even the slightest change of sound. To put it more accurately, I did so until Koharu had clearly woken up and pestered me for a good morning kiss. That's right, I didn't leave Koharu's side for even a moment last night. thank you. I'm glad it arrived safely. I suppose I should say that it's just a cheap trinket, as usual. I know it's a bit early, but happy birthday. I apologize that I can't even show up to celebrate an event that happens only once a year. I feel a nauseous sensation rising in my chest from my own self-loathing. Although Koharu permits me to do this, I'm still doing it behind her back. Although I said I'm Koharu's until tomorrow, I'm still getting in touch with Setsuna through our written words. I know full well that I've done terrible things to both of them, but the guilt in me drives my fingers to continue typing on the keys of my phone. Roast beef, huh? Looks like you've gone and raised the bar. Isn't that a dish that's quite difficult to properly make? Now that you mention it, the first time I ate your homemade cooking was when you made your Hamburg steak, right, Setsuna? The truth is, I was actually nervous back then, as if it were a natural reaction. And no, I can't really remember how it tasted anymore. I only remember I asked for seconds. What am I saying? It's strange of me to be so suddenly talking about the past, isn't it? I actually don't even know what I want to say at this point. For now, I pray that your roast beef will turn out great. Talk to you later. The moment I pressed the send button, my line of sight became distorted, almost brutally so. It's not like I'm physically unwell. Everything other than my left arm is the peak of health. It's just because I watched over Koharu till morning as promised. I think I'm suffering from a slight lack of sleep.
Senpai, you'll catch a cold, you know? Go to bed if you want to sleep. Or you could at least cover yourself with a blanket.
The first thing my five senses picked up was a high-pitched voice that sounded like a bell tickling my ears. Next came the scent of the spicy curry, which has been left simmering for a day. After that, artificial light started to pierce my eyes, and soon my vision began to clear. Koharu?
Good morning, Senpai.
I fell asleep, huh? What time is it?
It's almost midnight. It's only been about 10 minutes since you dozed off.
Despite the fact that I was tormented by horrible sleepiness, I at least made sure to do my best in the kitchen until the restaurant closed. After that, I cleaned up the place, returned to my apartment with Koharu under the guise of accompanying her to the station, and made a simple dinner from yesterday's leftovers. I don't have any memory of what happened after that. Sorry, I didn't mean to be like this while we were in the middle of sharing precious time alone together.
You don't have to apologize. It doesn't change the fact that we're alone together.
Still, I wasn't able to keep you company. It's not like I had an explicit reason why I wanted to do that.
By adding that weird excuse at the end, you've made it sound like you actually do have an explicit reason in mind.
My bad. It's not just because I was awake the whole time last night. It's because I've exhausted myself emotionally over a long series of trials. Though it's only been 3 days, I've been faced with the unbelievable reality of living with a girl, and with a suggestive reason. Maybe it's because my daily life has changed drastically. But I have been feeling incredibly fatigued these days, which is unthinkable for my usual self.
You can go back to sleep, you know? I'm already satisfied just by watching your sleeping face, Senpai.
I'm fine. I don't usually go to sleep at this hour.
Besides, I'll be kind and interpret your dozing off as you feeling relaxed around me.
To be honest, I'm exhausted because of how nervous I've been lately.
Then I'll be kind and interpret it in a different way. You dozed off because your heart just couldn't stop throbbing when you were around me.
That has nothing to do with being kind. It's the plain and simple truth.
Come on, help yourself to the bed. I'll watch over you for the whole night today. Should I give you an arm pillow?
No, please don't do that. I'm advising you to do so from the bottom of my heart. After all, I still can't get rid of this numbness in my arm after half a day.
As someone who happened to use your arm as a pillow, I'd advise that you at least try it just once.
Let's put that off until some other time for now. Even so, if she were to say that again, I don't have the confidence that I'll be able to refuse her again. After all, it's an embarrassing, captivating, and very important session of physical intimacy for the two of us.
Welcome, senpai.
This is my bed. As I answer her brusquely in an attempt to hide my embarrassment, I embrace Koharu's waist as she welcomes me onto the bed. Though I wouldn't say the way I'm doing it is particularly appropriate. I tightly hold her lower body with my face buried in her thighs, satisfying myself with these warm and soft pillows.
Rest well, though I will wake you up at 8 o'clock because we have to work tomorrow.
After I fall asleep, make sure you get some proper sleep, alright, Koharu? Also, don't worry and just wake me up if you feel like crying.
I'm fine. I'm really fine now.
As if showing her strong determination, Koharu's voice doesn't waver.
You've always been looking at me after all, senpai. You've been looking at me and me alone?
Don't just assume things like that, and also try not to forcibly keep everything to yourself. The way I spelled everything out so bluntly wasn't just because I was embarrassed.
I'll keep that in mind.
It was also coming from a sense of guilt. Even though I promised Koharu that I would be hers for 3 days, I broke that promise briefly on the very first day. Well then, good night.
Good night.
Borrowing Koharu's lap, I shut my eyes that have been overwhelmed by heavy sleepiness, and devised tomorrow's plans in my head using whatever's left of my fading consciousness. Given that I didn't take a shower before falling asleep, I'll have to wake up at 7 at the latest so I can take one. After that, we'll make breakfast together, enjoy it together, and spend the little time we have together leisurely. Finally, we'll prepare to head out, leave my apartment together, and head to work. When that time comes, I imagine I'll be the one who will be holding Koharu's bag, which will be so heavy that it'll threaten to break my arm. After all, right now, there's no doubt that Koharu will cram whatever baggage she has in my room into her bag.
Senpai? Won't we do it? Thank you for taking care of me for these past 3 days. I really feel so happy.
Between the Koharu that I'm imagining and the Koharu who's caressing my head right now, I really can't tell which one of these is the real her. What about you? Don't you want to do it? You can come back again, you know?
Thank you very much.
At the very least, both sides of me are telling her the truth, but only one of them can communicate with words. So in a way, there's no meaning to it. February 13th, Sunday.
Does everyone have something to drink? You wanted beer and Takia-kun wanted wine. Takahiro, you will have to settle for oolong tea.
Come on, just one cup wouldn't hurt, right? I'll be sober until nighttime with only that amount.
You have the entrance exams next week. Does everyone have their utensils? If anyone wants chopsticks, just say the word. I'll go get some for you.
Everything's alright? So that's enough, Setsuna? Stop being so fussy and sit down. The party's never going to start at this rate.
But I'm sitting right in the middle, on the seat of honor.
And this is your birthday party.
Really? If the guest of honor is still going out of her way to do everything, we can't really calm down and celebrate, you know?
Okay.
Whoa, this roast beef is great! How did you make it so juicy?
See, Setsuna? It's because you're like this, he's forgetting his manners. Don't start eating before the toast.
This is amazing! You've become even better at cooking, Setsuna-chan. You're beautiful and good at housework, too. I suspected as much, but perhaps there really are more than two genders in the world, right, Io?
I have no idea what you're talking about, and you certainly don't need to explain it either.
You're only learning how to make all these fancy dishes. The really important food you should be making when you have a family are dishes that you can eat every day and won't get tired of, such as nimiono or ohitashi.
Those dishes aren't suitable for parties, though. Actually, well, just go away.
Really, it's guaranteed that you'll be a great wife, no doubt about it. And yet that bastard.
Takia?
Right. Should we get started? Does the Ogaso family sing happy birthday?
Well, in my case, we sang it until I entered high school. But now it's too embarrassing, so we stopped.
That means Setsuna did it until she entered university?
What kind of old-fashioned soap opera is this?
Well, whatever. Let's just keep it simple and go with a toast. Setsuna? We're starting, you know.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Sis, Koharu-san is working all day, right? He won't be contacting you in the middle of the day.
No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just checking whether the phone's clock is out of sync.
These days, the time on your phone won't go out of sync.
All right. Let's get started, shall we?
I'll be going ahead.
Good work. Good work. Yeah, good work. And thank you, Yama-san.
You're welcome. You've always helped me out, after all, Koharu-san. See ya.
Working in the kitchen ended up dulling my sense of time, and it was only when the folks from the morning shift started leaving that I realized that it was already evening. When I opened my mouth for the first time in a while and glanced at the window, I found out the natural light outside had already disappeared. Though, well, putting that aside for now, did I do something to warrant the two of you glaring at me? The kitchen feels awfully cold, despite the fact that the heater's turned up and there's stoves being used.
You got chocolate from Iyama-san as well, huh? That's the third one you've received, Koharu-san. Damn it, it seems I've finally been beaten. I'd say you're still lucky, Honda-kun. I only got a single piece of Choco Baby from Nakagawa-san.
No matter how you look at it, isn't it obvious that she was just joking around? It's true that I did receive a box of chocolates, though it was only Choco Baby, as I thought. I'm sure you will get yours on the actual day. It must be because I won't be in tomorrow.
Iyama-san doesn't have a shift tomorrow, so she won't be here either.
Ah, I see. It's the 13th of February. The interior of the restaurant is filled with the slightest sense of anticipation on the eve of the sudden and exciting celebration that will happen tomorrow. That's partially due to the fact that the restaurant's having a rather special dessert menu centered on chocolate, but there are also personal reasons aside from that.
Nakagawa-san's different, so she gave everyone chocolates, but Mizuhara-san only gave chocolates to 2 people, while Yama-san only gave chocolates to you, Kidahara-san.
Why are you keeping tabs on everyone's movement?
Is that wrong? Because I am the acting manager. It's only natural for me to keep an eye on my employees, right? Indeed, I am a sore loser. Something wrong with that?
You're going to be the official branch manager starting in the spring, so it's not like you can make a move on the girls who work here to begin with.
Now that you mention it, I haven't received any chocolate from Sugiura-san either. Obviously, I didn't either.
Don't worry, I didn't get any from her either. She's not the type to do such things. I did catch her buying some, though.
So, Koharu-chi, why didn't you give any to Kidahara-san? I didn't give them to anyone. Why are you being so nosy? After all, even if you did give some to the other boys, they obviously be obligatory, right? I don't have any interest in Valentine's Day. I never gave any to my classmates either. What a waste! But you're just so cute despite being a class rep, Koharu-chi. I'm glad you're praising me, but please don't look down on class reps without any basis. He already got his 4th from Aya-chan, you know? You're the only one who didn't give him any, you know? Again? What of it? That's none of my business, now is it? Are you so confident because you already know he loves you the most? If you care that much about Valentine's, how about giving everyone better chocolates, floor manager? Well, this month is so tight. If I were to have better chocolates on my hands, I'd gladly eat them for dinner, you see? Then let's work harder so you can afford tastier meals. The dinner rush is about to begin, you know? Looks like I don't have any other choice. Well, I'm not giving any to classmates specifically, though.
By the way, Takahiro, what happened to bringing your girlfriend along?
What do you mean, girlfriend? All I said was I'd invite 2 or 3 girls from my class.
Well, I didn't mind whichever's the case. I came to the party today mostly because you told me you'd ask them over, you know?
Well, I invited them, but, you know, they all completely turned me down because of their part-time jobs and other reasons.
Come on! You haven't learned a single thing I taught you, have you?
Well, I can't suddenly catch up to you, Izuka-san. It's all about experience.
With practice comes experience. Believe it or not, my first target was my school's first-year homeroom teacher.
Really? Really? Are you serious? Tell me more. Tell me more details.
Say, wouldn't it be better for those two not to meet each other? I'm starting to worry about Takahiro-kun's future. Setsuna? Sorry, I wasn't listening. If you're really that bothered by it, you could have just held the party when he was free. I thought I already told you that before.
That's not it! No. I suppose maybe it is, but I couldn't do it because I was scared.
You're scared? What's wrong?
I'm scared of learning that the reason he hasn't come today isn't simply because he's busy. And I know I'm disappointed, but I also know that a part of me feels relieved by this.
You're scared of arriving at a conclusion?
As someone who brushed away his hand, yeah.
Get it together? There's nothing you can do about what you've done in the past. You're supposed to be thinking about how you two can get back together, right?
You're right. You're really right. That's why I'll try just a little bit. I want to put in just a little bit more effort.
You're amazing, Izuka-san. I respect you even more now. Though, I don't think I can be like you.
It's quite a fine memory of mine as of today. She taught me that tying them down was a fool's errand. Truly a turning point of my life.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't bring the girls. I don't know how many of them you'd have devoured.
Wait! Did you hear what I just said?
I was properly listening until the 20th girl.
I also told you my policies and way of life, right? I won't hit on a friend's girlfriend. Setsuna-chan is a good example of that, right?
And it's not like they're my girlfriends. They just have a bit of drama going on right now.
Are you saying you want them to reconcile? You want to involve yourself in something as extremely terrifying as a conflict between women?
Because I'm the class rep, even if it was forced on me. And the class atmosphere is pretty bad right now.
In a way, you really do seem quite composed, despite the fact that you have entrance exams this weekend.
Alright, since we're here, can I ask you for some advice? They'll be your precious underclassmen attending the same campus next year anyway.
I don't really mind, but I don't think I'd be really useful. I know full well that I'm not really meant to put out fires like these, mostly because I'm aware that I'm the one who sets them off more often than not.
Well then, how about the ladies? Mrs. Sawa-san, sis, hear me out, please.
Huh? What's wrong, Takahiro?
There's something troubling me right now. It's about girls in my class.
Huh?
As I thought, you should let me give you a hand.
No, it's alright. I can't have myself troubling you over something like this after all.
It's too late. You've already been looking for it for more than an hour.
I'm sorry. It's something very important, you see?
You could ask the restaurant staff. Ask them to give it to you if they find it.
But what if one of the customers picked it up?
This exchange has repeated itself for the 5th time.
I wonder if it's in the hall. I think I'll take a look there one more time.
You already searched there 3 times, right? The evening shift was over. The restaurant had already been cleaned up, and everyone had said their goodbyes. By the time Koharu said she had lost something when she was checking her pouch while she was changing, only the 2 of us and Sato were left.
Senpai, you can go home before me. I'll return the key tomorrow before school starts.
I can't do that. It's not because I don't trust you or anything like that, Koharu.
I guess you're right. Sorry.
If you have time to apologize, use it to either find what you lost or give up on it. I don't mind what you decide on.
Okay.
We borrowed the keys from Sato and returned to the restaurant, thoroughly searching everywhere from the hall, kitchen, changing room, staff room, the toilet, and even other places. In any case, given that she's more meticulous than even me, she covered every nook and cranny she could physically reach. She even tried to search the men's toilet once, and then I asked her about the chances of it dropping there. Her face flushed bright red, and she immediately turned away. Even so, is this particular item really that important to her? She still hasn't given up even after searching for an hour. By the way, what exactly are you looking for?
I told you earlier, didn't I? You know, it's that thing.
I think the fact that you're using demonstrative pronouns that only you understand when talking to others is proof that you've become forgetful.
It's about this size. I always carry it with me.
A brooch? Her thumb and index fingers indicates a size of around 3 centimeters. About an inch for our American friends. That's it. Let's just leave it at that. Did you always have such a thing with you? Let's just leave it at that.
It's attached to somewhere that can't be seen from the outside. Girls tend to be very particular about such things.
Is that so? She's already stripped, gone naked, and exposed herself to me this weekend, to the point where there really isn't a spot of her that I haven't seen though.
Did it fall under the sofa? It's so dark I can't see very well.
Don't crawl so much when you're still in your uniform. I'm going to send this to be cleaned today anyway, so it's still better if this one gets dirty. My problem isn't with it getting dirty, but rather the length of her skirt. She's crawling on the floor with her head hidden, but with her butt in plain sight, as she's absorbed in looking for something. And the fact that she's swaying the part of her that isn't hidden, well, how do I put this?
Senpai?
It's not like I had that intention.
What's the time right now?
Give me a moment. I'm glad she didn't pry any further. Hang on. I just pointed out earlier that she's already stripped, gone naked, and exposed herself to me in many ways by now. So, what do I have to be flustered about? It's 10 past midnight. And now it's 11 past midnight.
So, the date's changed, huh?
Yeah, Koharu, the last train's about to...
In that case, I found it.
Huh? In that case? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Licking and kissing injuries are fine if the skin isn't broken. The skin's job is to keep infections out. However, licking open wounds is a good way to get an infection. It is better than nothing if there's dirt in the wound, but we now have better ways of cleaning wounds. So, if you have a bad cut and have access to running water, use that instead of licking it.